Hello, dear friends. Before we begin, I want you to open your heart and walk with me through a journey of hope, struggle, and faith. Stay until the end, because this story will touch your soul. There was a couple who had always dreamed of having children. From the very beginning of their relationship, the thought of creating a family together filled their hearts with joy. They would often imagine a little laughter echoing through their home, tiny feet running on the wooden floors, and a little hand holding theirs. Every night they prayed together, asking for a blessing that would complete their dream. Years passed, and though they remained strong as a couple, disappointment quietly settled in. Test after test, doctor after doctor, the hope of pregnancy seemed to fade a little more each month. Friends and family would ask, "When will you have children?" And every time they would smile, but behind their eyes, a small sadness lingered. The nights were the hardest. Lying awake, they whispered to each other about their dreams, feeling the weight of unanswered prayers. It wasn't that they had stopped hoping, they hadn't, but the world sometimes felt heavy, and their hearts were fragile. The longing for a child became a quiet ache that followed them everywhere, in every corner of their home, in every conversation. Yet, in the middle of this sadness, there was love. A love so strong that even in disappointment, they held each other closer. They were a team, facing life together, reminding themselves that they were not alone. Every tear, every fear, every setback was faced side by side. They knew that life had its trials, but their hope whispered that one day, something beautiful could happen. Even in the darkest nights, they believed in miracles. They prayed together, laughed together, and held on to the dream that one day their hearts would overflow with the joy of a child. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were ready to fight, to wait, and to love, no matter the obstacles. If you believe in miracles, comment Amém and type Glória a Deus to share your faith and hope with this story. After years of longing and heartache, something incredible happened. One quiet morning, after a night filled with prayer and hope, the couple received the news that would change their lives forever. She was pregnant. At first, they couldn't believe it. They looked at each other with wide eyes, trembling hands, and hearts beating faster than ever before. Tears of joy rolled down their faces, mixing laughter and disbelief in the most beautiful way. The days that followed were filled with wonder. Every tiny movement in her belly felt like a secret message of life and love. They spoke softly to the unborn child, sharing dreams, wishes, and promises of a bright future. The house, once quiet and heavy with longing, now resonated with excitement, anticipation, and the delicate hope of new life. Family and friends celebrated with them, sharing in the joy that had seemed so distant for so long. But even amidst the excitement, the couple knew that the journey was just beginning. There would be challenges ahead, yet their hearts were overflowing with gratitude. Every morning brought a renewed sense of purpose. They were creating life together. Every night, they held each other close, whispering thanks for the miracle growing inside her. This was a moment they had dreamed of, a chapter they had prayed for endlessly. The couple's faith had carried them through years of waiting, and now, that faith was rewarded. The love that had sustained them through sadness and struggle was stronger than ever, and it now embraced a new life, fragile yet full of promise. In these precious days, they learned that miracles sometimes arrive after the longest waits, that love and patience can turn tears into laughter and longing into joy. And though the road ahead would still have obstacles, the gift of life had transformed their hearts in ways they never imagined. Hello, dear friends. Thank you for staying with me. This part is about strength, courage, and standing together even when life tests us. Keep reading, because every struggle has a purpose. The early days of pregnancy were filled with excitement. But soon, the couple realized that life wasn't going to be as simple as they had hoped. Health complications appeared unexpectedly, turning joy into worry. Frequent visits to doctors, long tests, and sleepless nights became part of their routine. Every appointment brought new concerns, new questions, and sometimes a new fear. But they faced it together. He held her hand in every waiting room, reassuring her with soft words, warm hugs, and unwavering support. She leaned on his strength when exhaustion and pain became overwhelming. Together, they learned that love is not only about celebrating happiness, it's also about sharing burdens, carrying each other when life feels too heavy. Financial worries also came into play. The costs of treatments, medications, and frequent medical consultations seemed never-ending. Yet, they didn't complain. They made sacrifices, adjusted their lives, and found creative ways to manage every obstacle. Every challenge became an opportunity to grow closer, to deepen their bond, and to strengthen their faith. Even on days when hope seemed fragile, they reminded each other of the miracle growing inside her. They prayed together, encouraging each other not to give up. Every small victory, a good test result, a moment of calm, a smile shared, was celebrated as if it were a festival of life. Through these trials, they realized that the journey to parenthood is not only about waiting for a child, it's about growing as a couple, learning patience, resilience, and unconditional love. The difficulties didn't weaken them. They made their love stronger and their hearts more prepared for the gift to come. If you believe in the power of love and perseverance, comment Amém and type Glória a Deus to honor their courage and faith. As the months passed, the couple began to experience the true magic of pregnancy. Every little kick, every flutter, was a reminder of the life they had longed for and fought so hard to protect. Their home, once quiet and filled with uncertainty, was now alive with anticipation. Soft lullabies played in the background, tiny clothes were carefully folded, and every corner of their home held a piece of their dreams. They spent hours imagining the day their child would arrive, what the baby would look like, the sound of their laughter, the first steps, the first words. Even in the midst of appointments and tests, these moments of imagination filled their hearts with unshakable joy. The hardships they had faced only made these moments sweeter. Every struggle now a stepping stone toward a miracle. The couple's love deepened more with each passing day. They laughed together at the smallest things, held each other during moments of fear, and whispered words of gratitude for the miracle growing within. Friends and family continued to support them, sharing in their excitement, offering advice, and helping with preparations. But beyond the material preparations, they prepared their hearts. They prayed that their child would grow healthy, that they would have the strength to face future challenges, and that their home would be filled with love, patience, and faith. They realized that joy is not just in receiving blessings, it's also in nurturing them, protecting them, and appreciating every small miracle along the way. Through these months, they understood that happiness and struggle can coexist. The joy of expecting a child is intertwined with patience, love, and resilience. Every challenge they had faced together now felt like a rehearsal for the greatest role of their lives, being parents. As the pregnancy advanced, unexpected complications arose. Health issues became more serious, and the couple often found themselves in hospital corridors, anxiously waiting for doctors' updates. Every test, every visit brought uncertainty, and moments of fear sometimes threatened to overwhelm them. But they never faced it alone. Hand in hand, heart to heart, they leaned on each other's courage, finding strength in the bond that had carried them through so many years. Financial pressures intensified. The cost of treatments, medications, and specialized care seemed never-ending. They had to make difficult decisions, sometimes going without luxuries, sacrificing small comforts, and focusing every resource on the health and safety of both mother and child. Yet, even in these struggles, they discovered resilience they hadn't known existed. They learned to budget, plan, and adapt, turning every obstacle into a step toward their dream. Amid these trials, their love for each other deepened profoundly. Late nights in hospital rooms became moments of tenderness, whispered prayers, and unspoken promises. They reminded themselves that this fight was not just for their child, but for the future they had dreamed of together. Every setback was met with determination, every fear met with hope, and every tear met with a hug that said, "We are in this together." Through these difficulties, they realized that true strength is not the absence of fear. It's choosing to move forward despite it. They understood that struggles, no matter how heavy, can build resilience, faith, and unbreakable bonds. And every challenge, however daunting, was a reminder of the precious miracle they were working to protect.